Hi, Ken from Make Tech here. In this video, we're going to have a look at using PlaygroundAI. I've got a specific use case in mind. I had a friend asking me about using PlaygroundAI. Well, actually, they're using Midjourney, and I was talking about different options to do a workflow that might get results that they're after. So, yeah, rather than just doing a few screenshots just for them, I actually realized how few people really know about how to do this sort of stuff. So I'm going to do a quick video and share it for everyone. That's the website there, playgroundai.com, and you can just log in with a Google. Okay, this works pretty well on a mobile device browser as well. Online on a PC. A desktop's much nicer with everything all listed out here in one screen. Settings on the right, and then the general prompt and more image specific things on the left. I'll just work through them quickly. So you can choose the different model you want. Playground made their own model, which is quite good. I won't bother showing it here, but you can play with it if you want. Version 1.5 Stable Diffusion is kind of like a go-to for a lot of people. It has not been censored and played with whatever it's it was trained on 512 by 512, so if you're using a 512 output, which would be this one, then the prompt will work with it quite well, and then from there you can upscale it if you want. You can try the 1024 by 1024 output, but the prompt may not, it might miss the mark a little bit, but we'll do an experiment. See, 2.1, that's been trained on the 768, and you can only select 768 by 768 output. I'm not sure if the data set was made selected to be a bit more beautiful, stereotypically beautiful images, but it was censored. So yeah, depending on what you're trying to get, it might be a bit more tame. So anyway, I'm finding that I get pretty good results from 1.5, and then you can use DALL-E 2, but I believe you need to use credits. Yeah, so for DALL-E 2 you need to put your credits in there, so we won't worry about that. I'll just leave it on Stable Diffusion 1.5 for now. I'm comfortable with that, and I'm getting some pretty good results. Should we start off with a quick test one? Sure, why not? I like using the Spielberg filter. I found that is quite good. All the filters all have different characteristics. They're quite good. So yeah, prompt engineering, that's a skill of its own. You really have to know what model responds well to what things. So Stable Diffusion 1.5, I've got to know that pretty well. And if you're using Midjourney or something, which at the moment I believe is based on Stable Diffusion in the back end anyway, with a like a filter model on top of that, if you do no prompt at all, you'll still get a really good image out of it, I guess that sets a whole debate there, like, do you even need to be a good prompt engineer or whatever? And then some of the prompts you see that people use for that are absolutely gigantic. So yeah, anyway, let's just stick with this one for now. Stable Diffusion 1.5. What am I going to do? Let's go for alien ship on Mars. The way you punctuate it seems to make an effect, so that'll be kind of in the foreground, hopefully. DSLR, that seems to work quite well. That just means it's going to be a photo from a camera, not a render from a CAD, and that seems to work. That works quite well with the model. 4K, because a lot of the images that it would have been trained on would have been 4K and they would have been high res, so that helps it get a better detail. Then you can add morning sun. That's something I've been using on and off a lot I've talked about previously. Let's just go with that for now. So yeah, we've got the Spielberg filter, Stable Diffusion 1.5, 1024 by 1024. I will do exclude image. You can just chuck a couple of things in there to help it. So we'll go ugly, bad render, and low resolution. Hopefully I've spelt that right. Looks correct. And yeah, we'll play with image to image in a minute. Now, that prompt guidance shouldn't be up there. I don't think that should be down here. 7 or 8, I believe, is what we want. I'll keep it on 7, try 8. Quality, yeah, so quality you want to leave that on 50. You can go more than 50, but you have to pay for it. That's a premium. And to be honest, if you do more than 50 steps, it's not efficient or it's not economical to do more than 50 really. Like you'll get a slightly better image if you do 100 steps, you know. So if you do one image, you can choose whether you want a random seed or not. So if you have the same seed, then you can just do changing the you can just change the prompt only with the same seed, and that'll help you have less variables that you're changing at a time. Whereas if you have multiple seeds changing, then you can have the same prompt and you get a different image each time, as you'll see here. So we'll do 4, and I'll turn on private session because why not, and let's go. This should take about 25 to 30 seconds, I think. Alright, here's our results. They're pretty good. We've got a yeah, they're all varying, right? They're pretty cool. So we can upscale. I'll do view full screen, which will hopefully come through on the video there. Okay, that's, you know, it's pretty much what I was expecting, so it's cool. I like this one. I'm going to upscale this. So yeah, in here, if you click on actions, upscale by 4x, we'll do that first. Now this is you know, being recorded on OBS at 1080p or something, so this is kind of irrelevant. I can zoom in, I guess, to show. So it's not simply multiplying the pixels. Look at that horizon, that's funny. It's like, doesn't know what it's doing. I guess that could be a thing. Alright, so download that. So that's 25% zoom, wow. Alright, that's 1 for 1 pixel. And yeah, I mean the image is massive, right? So that's, yeah, 4x on 1024 is obviously just over 4,000 by 4,000 pixels. Yeah, so you can see, you know, it's a pretty big image. Alright, I won't drag this on too long. Well, I'll just change one thing in here and give an example. So now I'll do it after DSLR, macro lens, generate. This is a trick you can use, which I'll use in a minute, because yeah, the whole point of why I was going to use PlaygroundAI to show someone how to do some sort of product photography stuff is they wanted to get a close-up. So it's interesting. Look how it's got a bit more color. It's quite different, right? That's pretty interesting. Yeah, you get mixed results, right? But it's trying to zoom in a bit. This one's pretty cool. Let's have a look at this. We'll just go full screen. Yeah, who knows what's going on? It's coming from another dimension or something. Popping out of a warp bubble. That's cool. Alright. So let's look at some other features, right? I'm going to do image to image because that was kind of what I wanted to show. There's so many things to work on. I'm going to pause here. I'll get an image that I want to really show what I'm trying to do, and I'll come back and we'll run this. I'm going to try and generate the image that I want. So as a friend of mine has a product they want to display on a background, and from the phone call, yeah, something like this. I'll generate another one. It's not exactly what we're looking for, but to give an idea. I mean, these are quite beautiful images, hey? It's like an old-fashioned little, what do you call that? Like an office set thing. Quite plain and simple. Vase on the table. It's like a little chemistry beaker. Alright, what else have we got? Ah, here we go. This is funny. Alright. Here's an example of when you're talking about the hardware that you're using to take the photo comes into the subject in the photo or in the image. And, you know, yeah, it's something that happens occasionally. It can be a bit annoying. Generally it's not an issue. But yeah, it happens sometimes, so, you know. So, yeah, we're sort of getting there. You know what I might do? I'll take this one and then in Paint. It's a bit of an ugly one, but we'll use it for the process of the example. In Paint. Now it's letting me do in Paint. It didn't before. Alright. Paint the mask. So if we just do the same prompt again, hopefully we'll end up with... Oh, that's annoying. The reflection of it's in there as well. I'll have to get all of that. I think sorry, with the microphone, with the in painting. Hopefully that's alright. It's a bit fuzzy around the edge, so you know it's got a hard edge for us, but oh man, the Photoshop people are going to be cringing at me at the moment. Alright, let's give it a go. I'm used to using this on a mobile device, and yeah, the user interface is a little bit different. So, but anyway, you can see that I've got the mask, and can I use a filter as well? I'm not sure. Is it going to block me out? No, it lets you use. Oh no, it doesn't work. Alright. Okay, so yeah, that's interesting. You gotta have no filter, and then you can do in painting, generate. And we're back to 1. Hopefully I can do 4. There we go. Yeah, these settings on the right will change occasionally, so you got to check that. And yeah, I've had it where it turns off private session, which is annoying. Okay, this is funny. So let's put a different camera in there this time. Let's generate it again with 4 cameras again. All right, let's just take the camera out of the prompt because that's obviously triggering something. Hopefully the good quality contextual outside bit of the image will help it in paint. Same quality. Alright, so yeah, it's putting a little something on the table. That's alright, that's enough to get the idea right. So which one looks the nice? I'll choose one of these to upscale. I kind of like this. I don't know what that little plant thing is. Let's just do a few full screen of that. So I think this was 512 by 512, which is, you know, surprisingly not too bad. It's a little bit of pixely there, but let's upscale and have a look. Yeah, I mean that's getting a bit of a collage of randomness there. Let's have a look at it. Okay, so yeah, we're at 50%, and there's pixel for pixel. Bit of a mess, you know, but the rest of the image is alright. If I'd have just made that an empty image, that probably would have turned out okay. I like this little detail here, you know. It's like reminds me of an old classroom that was built in the 70s or something. Let me try one more time here. Corner of an empty room. Wooden table. Empty wooden table? I don't know. How do you describe that? Wooden table. Oh, objects on table in the negative prompt, right? Objects on table. I wonder if that'll work. Let's give it a go. Still got objects on the table. Anyway. Shows the workflow, and yeah, I mean, you know, someone can just deep dive onto that, keep trying to get what result they're trying to get. But that, okay, so that just demonstrates in painting. Just doing this wooden table, because then the thing that it's painting into that spot is just the table, right? Alright, that's kind of cool. Let's put a chair there. I can take that. Alright, let's take this one. Use an image to image. There we go, yeah, so if you clear the old one out first, then you can use an image to image. Now, I'm going to demonstrate using that geometry to create a new similar, you know, closer to what we want image. So it's going to be a studio room. This product is for kind of a yeah, it's for like a music studio or a lounge room or something. Studio. I'll just try that simple. I'll do DSLR 4K, so I always get pretty good results of that. I'll add morning sun as well, because there's going to be morning sun shining in the room, which always, yeah, that's what photographers usually like, whether they get the real thing or replicate it. And probably go analog diffusion again, but I'll just refresh my memory of what else is here. Lush illumination might be good. Cinematic warm, yeah, these ones are pretty good from memory as well. Let's try that and see if we can get high res options. Yeah, that lets you do high res. Cool, because yeah, the filter changes what image output resolutions you're allowed to have. And yeah, look at that. If you go for the pro plan, you can output up to yeah, high res. So anyway, studio room DSLR 4K morning sun. Let's give it a go. Yeah, so we're at 30%. Just check I've got everything right here for blah blah blah. Alright, cool, generate. It took a little bit longer than 30 seconds because it's got the higher res. And well, this is not what I was expecting. That's pretty cool, but why did it do that? Studio room. Studio room. Must be the filter that made it do that. I'm going to try a different filter. Analog diffusion. Let's go. So yeah, I can't do 1024 with the analog diffusion. That's the only problem. Let's see what results we get anyway. Some results triggered a safety issue. So yeah, that's interesting. For whatever reason. Okay, so this is interesting. You get an idea here that's giving you a similar geometry of the room. I'll turn the slider up and do it again. Go about 70. Alright. Okay, so you can see there, turning the slider up, there are variations, but they're much less significant. But they're still there. So I don't want to drag this video on too much. That gives people enough of an idea how to play with it and try and tweak the results and get what they want. Okay, before I finish off on using this, there's one thing I want to do, which is bring in an image that has an object in it that we want to use, and then try and keep that object in there, and then change the outside surrounding the object to see what we can do there. Right, I've just got this Roland SP404 little sampler. These are pretty cool samplers actually. I used to have one similar to this. I'm going to use a edit with a mask. So this is just from the website where they sell it. I've just got the product photography there. I've just dragged the image into Photopia, depending how you say it. And I'm going to make this background different color. Yeah, so that's great. That's all just enough so I can see it when I'm doing the in-painting. There we go. Right, now I've got it in there with a off-white background so we can actually see the mask. Add in-painting mask. Yeah, similar name but different. Alright, that brush is way too small. Let's just go to the maximum size. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so that's just different enough so I can see. Done. I've got my mask. It's a bit sketchy in some spots. We'll see how much of a difference that makes. And I'll just say wooden table. See what happens. There we go. DSLR 4K, even though I was getting not very good results from that before. I was putting a camera in there all the time. Normally that does not happen. DSLR 4K. Sure. Pretty simple little prompt there. You can go crazy with the long prompts. I'll make it 1024. And I'll go back here and make sure this is good for private. And yep. Alright. So what happens? It's gone significantly longer than 30 seconds, so I think someone might have failed. I'll just give it a bit longer and then cancel it off and try again if it doesn't work. Right, okay, there we go. Huh, it's funny how it tries to do something with that cream. So it's picked up a few cream pixels around the place there, and yeah, it's done something different on each of them. But anyway, yeah, this is a great example. So this is basically demonstrates what I wanted to show. I'm not going to keep trying to redo it to make it perfect because I don't want the video to go too long. I'll let people do that themselves. But this gives you an idea. You get an image, do the mask painting on there, and give it the prompt for the background. These wood grain backgrounds, they look pretty good. I'll switch one of these looks the best. It's like a little, it's like a hardware remix of the SP404 with a little I don't know, like a little Go case thing on it. What am I looking for? View full screen. Yeah, obviously we started off with, oh look, you can actually see it's tweaked the text on the buttons there. That's quite interesting. So it actually does something to the unmasked thing. But I guess if you really wanted to, you go into Photoshop and get the original, and then put the original photo over there, knowing that it'll all line up. Yeah, it's quite quirky. Still got that 84 left on there. So there you go. That's 1024 by 1024. These buttons they're all a bit messed up like that. It's quite interesting. It's got the numbers okay, but then the small text, it's messed it up. It's really weird. It's quite yeah, I'll leave it there actually, because I don't want this video to go too long, and it's probably already way longer than I wanted it to be. So there's something else I wanted to do before I move on from this, so people can compare it to other AI generators. And as I said at the start, Stable Diffusion is in the back end of other AI art generators like Midjourney, which people say is the best. I don't think it's necessarily the best. It's specifically trained to make stereotypically beautiful images. Like if you want a superhero style movie poster, if that's what you're trying to do, it'll do it really well. If you're trying to do something like this, yeah, it might still do it quite well, but you can't really do some of the stuff you can do in here in Midjourney. And if I mean, it's actually, the user interfaces are still text, and it's a bit annoying. Anyway, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to community feed, and I'm going to get a prompt from one of the... Alright, so here's a community feed of Rising. These like the hot images that have come out that people are rating up. And none of these are high res. Now let's click this one. Looks pretty cool. I like the detail in this. There's nothing uncanny valley-ish about it that's triggering up. So the hands aren't even in the shot, so it can't mess up the number of fingers. Almost looks like a double eyelash there, but unless it's kind of like a mix of denim and a headphones. Yeah, it's like a weird little mashup. It's almost like dreadlock backpack. It's a few weird little things going on here. It's kind of cool. But anyway, I wanted to have a look at a long prompt so that people get an idea about long prompts and long remove from image prompts, which seems to be a bit of a trick for getting some good results on AI art generators, is having a long remove from image prompt. So this gives you an idea of what PlaygroundAI can do. I don't know what all the different models they've used here are. You can see some interesting words. There's a long prompt, and then pretty decent sized prompt for remove from image as well. Does it say what are the settings of it? Okay, so guidance scale 8. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, they've used the playground model. That's interesting. Oh, they got a pretty good result. Playground model's pretty good, eh? Bit of like pixely-y stuff there, but it's all nice and symmetrical at least. So, delicate detail. There's the filter. Oh, and they've got an original image as well. There you go. So look at that, just out of curiosity. Alright, so someone's created that and then someone's used it. That's actually pretty impressive, this one. 11 likes. 3D cartoon removed from image. That's like a very simple little short remove from image and then a very long prompt image. Anyway, I'm going on and on. I just wanted to show people that, so if they want to investigate it, they can, and just quickly verify that, you can use long prompts and get amazing results on PlaygroundAI. And now I will leave it there, and I'm going to do some other videos on Bing Chat using GPT-4 and Bing Create using DALL-E AI art. It's new tech that's been made publicly available, and I mean it's not really new. It's not new to me, but it's new to be easily accessible for people. And so I'll just do a video covering that so people know about it. If you found that useful or entertaining, please subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers, bye.